Hi guys, I'm Ishtiak, a HMO property developer. In my recent development, I spent £15,000 on a gas central heating system. And this video is going to explain why. I own a grade 2 listed building. In the olden times, the Victorian times, they used to build buildings with fireplaces and no actual gas heaters. Where I live in Bradford, there's Manningham Lane, and in Manningham Lane there are similar 4-story houses, but the owners cheaped out. They put 22mm copper pipes throughout, and now only 7 years later, heat isn't going to the top floor. Do you get what I mean? Like, they have to rip everything out and put a completely new gas central heating system. You pay cheap, you pay twice. On the search to find a gas engineer to cap off all the fireplace and make a completely new gas central heating system. Brings us on to problem number 1, the fact that it's a 4-story house. In order for the to actually reach all 4 floors, we had to get 28mm copper pipes, really thick pipes. Word of advice, there are plastic pipes that you can use, but copper is always best. And for safety, you guys may already know, HMO, the landlord, pays the bills. So not only did I include insulation on as many ceilings as I could, I included the best, most efficient gas heating system. Includes a very high quality cylinder, what cylinder that is, a very high quality Grundfos pumps, and just very high quality materials used all throughout. To give you guys an idea of what sort of materials is required, here's some screenshots of what my gas engineer recommended I obtain. So there's valves, there's copper pipes, there's the boiler, the water tank, and lots of other key little bits and bobs. In total, I had to purchase 23 heaters. Just the heaters alone cost me around £2,700. Man, before this, I didn't even know the difference between type 21 and type 22. Number 1 tip I can give you guys is find the right person. Because if, like me, you had no idea of property development in the past, you'd need the right person to guide you through. That's what I did best. Over the course of 3 weeks, the gas engineer engineered 23 heaters all throughout 4 floors. Crazy to even say about 23 heaters, my god. Another problem, boilers have to have a boiler flute coming out of them, and the boiler flute has to have a connection to the external wall facing outside. There's nowhere that the boiler would fit, because the boiler had to be accompanied by the water tank. And that's why I proposed the builder to build a brick wall and put the boiler attached to that brick wall. That way it could be in this room and it could have the water tank directly next. Brings us on to a mistake that I made. But it was because of the gas engineer actually that I made this mistake. There was a room I plasterboarded and skimmed because we'd agreed that the boiler and water tank would fit in that room. However, whilst fitting, they realized that the boiler flute wouldn't be large enough to actually face the external wall. So because of that, £750 problem. Oh my god. I've got a landlord tip for you. I use Timeostats and I installed them on all 4 floors of the property. What these handy devices do in HMOs is if someone puts the heating on, they have to press the button on the thermostat, and the heating only is on for 2 hours. Now, I'm not evil. If they're still cold, they can just go out to the hallway and turn it on for another 2 hours. But what this protects you from, especially in student accommodation like I'm planning, is students leaving the heating on all night, all day, whilst they're at their families or whilst they're at uni, whilst they're partying. No, it's not right as a landlord. 4 of these thermostats cost me £1,000, but I'm sure within 1.5 years, I'm going to get my money back, the amount I'm going to save, especially on a big development like this. Now, each house is different and what's required is different. This house is very long, very high ceilings. That's why the materials cost a lot more. But the price I want to give you guys is the cost of labor, because that's what's constant. The price of labor for all 4 floors was £4,000, and then there was an extra £400 for dealing with all the cold and hot water pipes that were new addition because I built 2 kitchens and 2 toilets. This video gives you guys some insight about how the old Victorian houses that only had fireplaces and no gas central heating system, how they have to be updated. So for example, the lower 2 floors, there were 22mm copper pipes involved because those pipes were enough to supply the heating. But the 2nd and 3rd floor, they needed 28mm copper pipes. And once again, it goes back to the point that you need the right person. If you don't have the right person, then you won't know that problem exists. Like and subscribe if this video helped, and yeah, watch for the rest of the development. I'm gonna make this into the best HMO in Bradford.